Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm not going to yak on too much now. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to start the second part of the mini video, and I'll give you a little bit of an update on what comes next at the end of the video. That's one dented wing removed. Suffice to say, that looks much better. There's a little blemish on there, but compared to what I had on it before, much better. And to be honest, it's a 23-year-old car and it does have little dings and knocks on it and all that, so that is not out of character for the age of the car at all. Next job will be sort this out. It's actually a pretty lovely day today. What I'm doing is just doing a colour test, just make sure that the paint that I bought matches the car. So I've got the old wing, stuck a bit of filler on it, I'm going to rub it down, doesn't need to be absolutely perfect and it's not filling the dents or anything like that. Just going to rub it down, make it look half decent, stick some primer on it, rub it down, etc, and then try the paint on it and see how close to the car colour it is. Right, there we go, very quick job, all about the colour match, nothing about the actual smoothness of the filler or anything like that, but I wanted to put filler on there because whatever the paint goes on top of can affect the colour of the paint itself. So I wanted the layers of filler, a couple of coats of paint, a couple of coats of lacquer, and now I'm just going to let it dry, then offer it up to the car, see how good it is, and take a decision as to whether I want to go ahead and paint the door or not. Pleased to say the tester worked well. The colour match is pretty good, so I'm confident to do the door itself now. I can't make it, well, hopefully I can't make it worse than it is at the moment, so I think I can improve it, so I'm going to give it a go. What I'm doing at the moment is just taking the door panel off. I'm going to try and push out the door as much as I can from the inside, get the metal as flat as I can, reshape the door as much as I can, and reduce the amount of filler that I'm going to use. This does give me a clue as to why the audio is not top-notch in this car.
If you were missold a home on a park to 70
I'm not sure if that really looks like it, but actually that is a little bit better. I will be able to fill that with a little bit less filler. Filled all the dents, the door's definitely looking better than it was. The filler has been rubbed down and it's actually really quite nice and smooth. So what I've now got is a very light spray of some black paint on there, and that will act as an indicator. So I carry on rubbing down, and the idea, and I've seen this on other people's channels, never done this before, the idea is that when the black paint is gone, I know it's completely smooth. So a bit of an experiment for me, I'll see how it goes. As a technique, this seems to be working quite well. Well, if I run my finger across there, that feels fairly smooth, but you can see from where there's still black paint in there that actually it's not completely smooth. So this may be a few hours extra work, but I think it's going to be worth it, because yeah, if you can see the black, chances are when this has got the final colour on it, you'll be able to see little ridges and bits up here. Yeah, definitely wouldn't want a line like that showing through the final paint. possible that it looks a little bit better on camera than it does in real life. It's not terrible, but the colour match is not absolutely perfect. I think what I should have done was probably sprayed the entire door, just bought a second can of paint and just done the whole door. But overall, compared to how I started off, it's not bad. Yeah, it is massively better. I always start these jobs off thinking that I'm going to end up with something absolutely perfect. Sorry about the noise in the background. It never quite works out like that. I've never ever managed to use a rattle can and do a paint job that's absolutely perfect. However, this is definitely an improvement from where I started. Okay, next job. Take this off, replace it with this. Aftermarket parts do have the reputation of not necessarily being absolutely A1 quality and not always the perfect fit. This was a little bit tricky to get on, but now it's on us okay. Next, do you remember under there, cable tie? Bet you thought that would never get changed? Well, here we go, got the proper bolt, gonna fit that now. My order of rich and creamy grated mature cheese has arrived. 10 times 180 grams, 1.8 kilograms of cheese. Or could it be? Gotta say, I'd have been very disappointed if it did turn out to be cheese. Righty-ho, I can put the door cover back on now, fit the other side, and then I'm laughing. I'm really not sure if I can recall seeing a speaker quite this bad. This has just disintegrated all the way around. At this stage, the Mini was driving really well, and importantly, it was stopping properly with the new brakes. The bodywork was much better, even if it wasn't completely perfect. The car had been up for sale for a few days, and I'd had some interest, and unfortunately, the usual sort of waste of time, silly offers. As it turns out, probably just as well it hadn't sold, since this happened. Unfortunately, a complete clutch failure. Might have been the clutch itself, or maybe it was the master or slave cylinder. To be honest, I don't know. Whatever, it was completely impossible to engage any gears, and I had to push the car onto the hard shoulder. At the same time, the power steering was getting progressively heavier, and I'm pretty sure that the power steering pump was failing. To be honest, it was a shame because it was a low mileage and until then 100% very reliable car. Unfortunately, it was a 23-year-old previously 100% reliable car. Suddenly it needed more work than was economically viable, and I didn't have the time or the facilities to do the repairs myself. When I was chatting with the recovery chap, he mentioned that he bought cars and broke them, sort of, a bit of a side hustle. The easiest thing for me was, given the circumstances, just to sell the car to him. I didn't get a lot of money for it, but it was one less thing to worry about because I only had a few days before we were leaving the UK, and it was just easy, basically. So that was the end of both my Mini ownership and the actual car itself. I said at the beginning of the video that I'd let you know what comes next. Swampy and I need to work out how to keep the channel going when we're at opposite ends of Europe, whilst dealing with day-to-day life. But rest assured, it is definitely our intention to do so. We definitely want to keep the Double Duck Garage live and kicking for a long time to come. At the moment, Swampy is concentrating on his transit recovery vehicle and his Supra. I'm looking at ways to work on cars here with limited resources and tools currently available. I have bought some tools over from the UK. I do have some space available to me, but I don't have a garage at the moment. I've also got to work out what to do with my Dino Special that I've been building. I've had it 12 years already. It'll probably be another 12 years before I ever get it on the road. One of the problems I possibly do have is whether I can ever actually register it here. Anyways, I think that's it for the time being. Thank you very much for watching, and I think the next video will probably be Swampy's transit recovery vehicle work. There's some fairly serious rust on the chassis. He sent me a few photos earlier today showing that he's done the welding on that, and it's looking really good what he's done. So I suspect that will probably be his next video. Anyway, whether it is or not, we will be back soon, and for the time being, thank you very much for watching. See you soon. Cheers. Bye.